Woohoo! I love how willing it is to get the tail out. It's just so fun. Ladies and gentlemen, 2015 Lexus RC F. One of the first vehicles I ever reviewed on this channel was an RCF, and we are revisiting it today, but on a totally different road that's a little bit more technical than that big sweeper high-speed road from before. We're powered by a 5-liter naturally aspirated V8, making 467 horsepower, 389 pound-feet of torque. Mated to an 8-speed automatic transmission, torque converter. We've got double wishbone in the front, multilink rear, because Lexus isn't gonna compromise and cut corners on something as fundamental as your suspension geometry. But they also aren't gonna put a lot of money into saving weight, because this thing weighs 4,000 pounds. That is a lot of weight for a car of this size and proportions and dimensions. Just can't believe it's 4,000 pounds. That's wild. Used value right now on the market around 40 to 45K. Tires are mismatched. We got these Potenzas, 255 in the front, and Pilot Super Sport, 275 in the rear. But what you want to see is how she drives. Nice startup sequence. This is back in the day when they had the trackpad for the infotainment, which was very polarizing. Most people just absolutely hated it. But we're not focusing on that today. We're talking about how this thing drives. I'll put this ventilated seat on max. We got some Alcantara here. These seats are comfortable and supportive. I do appreciate that. I mean, you got pretty thick side bolstering right here, which is great. I'm 6'1", 180 pounds. It fits me quite well. Good seating position here. We're pretty low. This thing telescopes decently far. Some carbon fiber trim pieces here and there. Cool. It's a nice place to be. We're gonna get this into drive. And one thing you've got to appreciate about the Lexus F models, or I guess any Lexus that comes with the 5-liter V8, is that you have these multiple personalities. Nice and comfortable. And then you go to this dial here, we go into Sport Plus, traction off, expert mode, goes into manual. And then she comes to life. Getting the tail out a little bit. Very progressive car. Even on the way here, it's very willing and eager to kick that tail out a little bit, but it's very progressive and easy to control. One of the things I love about this car. But I want to test the transmission because, see, it doesn't let you downshift unless you get below 3K in second, and then first gear is at like 4.5 as a result. So really conservative with your downshift logic. One thing you just can't get around is the weight of this thing. 4,000 pounds, and it's so small. I don't know how it ballooned to 4,000 pounds. That, I think, is the biggest weakness of this vehicle, because what you get, and I said this last time too, let's just give it a pull. I do love those juicy downshifts though. what you get is a vehicle that is a little bit too stiff to be comfortable daily driving, and then when you get to the canyons, suspension's a little bit too soft in the corners to give you the kind of body control you want. And that's just physics. It's hard to get both when you weigh 4,000 pounds. I love how lively this rear end is though. Constantly trying to kick it out. Once you get the transmission warmed up, it's not terribly bad, but it's still slow. Like I'll show you here. I'm in third. We're gonna brake down to second. Not terrible, but you'd expect a bit more. Woohoo! I love how willing it is to get the tail out. It's just so fun. That's why you get this car. It is not taking itself too seriously. It wants to have a good time. And maybe you value that naturally aspirated V8 as a super special engine. You value the reliability of a Lexus, the resale value, probably like the styling. It's a good single-purpose vehicle. You can daily drive this relatively comfortably. Again, I think it's a little bit too stiff and uncomfortable to be a good daily GT. But you can do that and then also enjoy it in the twisties, and you're probably not going to take it on the track. It's too heavy for that. Or I guess you could, because oovals would just be really expensive. Let's go back into normal mode. Oh, what's up, NA1 NSX? Actually, no. Let's go back to Sport Plus. By the way, I'm not the biggest fan of the dash in Sport Plus mode. I don't think that aged very well. I'm really grateful that, well, that's why traction was on. I was wondering why I wasn't getting the tail out as much. There we go. I'm grateful Lexus tuned, oh Jesus, squirrel, that Lexus tuned these vehicles in a way that makes them tail happy, makes them fun. They didn't skimp out on things like the suspension geometry so that the front end doesn't just wash out to understeer. You can actually get this thing to rotate even when you're loading up the front, the front tires, and get the tail to come out a little bit. That's so fun. I wish more cars would have this kind of handling balance. It's very balanced in that way. It gives way to rotation. It's very predictable. I love the driving dynamics of it, but oh, I guess it shifted itself, and then I also shifted. Steering, you're not really getting feedback, but the steering is at least natural with the precision, the weighting, etc. Transmission is okay. I don't think it's bad enough to be a deal breaker, but you are left wanting for something that's a little bit sharper, a little bit more willing to downshift when you wanted to, and a little bit faster with the shifting as well. The actual gauge cluster, when you're in regular mode, and even Sport S mode, but Sport Plus, I think this is kind of ugly, honestly. Great engine, great chassis dynamics, but at the price point of 40 to 45K, I'm curious what you guys think. I think it's a cool car. The main reason I would want to buy it is the engine and the chassis dynamics. But some of the other things, like, I'm getting a lot of rattles here for whatever reason. I mean, this is a Lexus. I wasn't expecting to get rattles, but something over here is making a lot of rattles. I think if they focused on lightening the car a little bit, they would have been able to maintain a higher degree of comfort and better body control, because 4,000 pounds is just too much. Big thanks to Jack, the owner, for letting me review his car. My friends, let me know what you think of the 2015 Lexus RC F. Big thanks to Fenton's son for the Zygon YouTube channel, making this review possible. If you want your car reviewed, visit us on JabalOnCars.com. Fill out the form on the homepage. Much love, my friends. See you all in that next one.